Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Jordan and Drew, the Sports Crew, Drew's College Athlete Spotlight. We're on episode 7 already, and we're going to stick in D1 here. We had Gracie Streblo on last time, and now we got on Hunter Krepline. We have a cross-country and track athlete here at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, same school I'm at. And Hunter, how you doing today?
I'm good, Drew. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, from Brilliant, so we got kind of that tie location wise too. So that's kind of the connection we got here. And just going into it now, so you're competing in track and cross country here at the collegiate level with the cross country season already wrapping up and now track's coming up. So we'll start though. We're going to go right back to the basics here, Hunter. When did you start competing in cross country?
So I played football in 6th grade, and I mean, I'm still not big. I wasn't very big back then either, so that didn't really work out. So in 7th grade, I joined cross country, and me and my buddy Colin Grave ran together and kind of just fell in love with it. I had fun with it, and then ever since then, it was just history. So.
And we saw, I believe, Nate Griebentrog take a similar route, and he's also here at Milwaukee. He started football 5th and 6th grade too. We made that transition, I think, 7th grade. So there's another one. And then with that also, because we're going to talk cross country and track here with you competing in both of them. When did you start competing in track?
Well, I don't know the exact grade that I started competing in track, but I'm pretty sure it was 5th grade at Trinity Brilliant. So, yeah, I mean, that was fun. I didn't really like track much when I first started it, but I was actually my freshman year, I was going to do golf in high school. So my coach put a very quick halt to that. So, but now I like track more than cross country. So it all worked out.
Yeah, we'll talk about like in high school with you, kind of in the 800, of course, in the 1600. But when you were in middle school, kind of what were the events you were really competing in?
Well, middle school. So I still ran the 800 and the mile, and I did a lot more of like the long jump and the high jump and stuff like that. So I thought I was more athletic than I actually was.
Yeah. So I guess then now we get to you in high school. You talked about you were going to go out for golf. We saw you kind of play 3 sports. Were they all 4 years in cross country, basketball, and track?
Yep.
So you were all 4 years, and of course,
yeah, all of them. Obviously I didn't get my junior track season, which sucked, but
yeah, with COVID, of course, that was a bummer. Just a question here, is there a cross country moment or a track moment? I guess for both, that stands out in high school for you.
Yeah, there's both. There's cross country and track. Cross country was definitely when our team took runner up at state my junior year. When it was me and Gunner and Colin and Reese and Alex and Parker. That was a super fun year. It's kind of we did an interview in the paper for it, and Colin Grieve kind of said it perfect we kind of just were a bunch of goons who made it work out. We kind of messed around a ton at practice, but we got it done, and we got to ride on the fire truck with the state trophy. That was pretty awesome. And then obviously last track season at lacrosse when I won the state championship in the mile, that was surreal. That was awesome. That's probably one of the best moments too. All the work I put in to win one of my last races as a state championship. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and there's that photo of you. I think that's pretty iconic, in the Brilliant area, the one with you putting your hands up as you cross the finish line. I think that's certainly a photo.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen, but some
cool
stuff
there.
That
one definitely got around. That was an awesome picture. And I actually think that one's on the wall in the weight room. So
some awesome stuff.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So just going with, we'll go back a little bit in cross country. Was there a favorite course that you had?
I don't know. I really didn't. I guess probably Manitowoc. We ran at the Meadowlinks Golf Course my freshman, sophomore, junior year for sectionals. Obviously, my freshman year I passed out on that course at sectionals, but
Ooh.
It's definitely my favorite course. It flows. I won my first race ever there, so that's definitely my favorite course.
Some cool stuff. And another thing here is, how much would you say basketball really helped you out in high school, just kind of keeping you in shape all year round?
I think basketball would really help, man. I think that a lot of people that are like in my position where they run cross country and track and don't know if they should play basketball or do a winter sport. I think that really benefits runners. I mean, anything, basketball, swimming, wrestling, it just keeps you in shape. And I guess a big thing is overworking too. I mean, that's you can do that in cross country and running. So I think basketball just kind of got my mind off of running, let me relax. I mean, I loved basketball, so I wasn't just gonna throw that away. So I also worked the fast twitch muscles and stuff like that. So it was fun. I think it's very important for
Yeah,
to
certainly.
succeed.
Yeah, playing winter sports always crucial, and coaches support it and are advocates for it, and rightfully so. But then, yeah, looking through your times here, your senior year, and then in cross country, just looking through it here. I mean, you put up some big numbers here, a lot of first places we see here. Just looking through it, and then because at cross country, the state champion, it says you took second overall at the D2 state cross country championship. Then with the time of 16:31.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. That was one of the weird junior or senior cross country season was weird. I mean, especially when you got into the tournament and you had subs. We never had like subsectionals and then sectionals, and then they ran state and heats. So I mean, we had the winner ran it in the first heat, then I ran the second heat, and Shane ran it in the third heat. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't like it, but it is what it is, and you got to adjust. And
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because like we say, I think the subsectionals maybe even play a part in your times. Let's look at in it, because we see conference meet you take first, 16:01, and then then you go to subsectional freedom, you go 15:47, and then in the sectional and tomahawk you go 16:01. So it's interesting how just overall. I mean, were you not a fan of it? I mean, I wouldn't be a fan running in the heats. How they did it.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't a fan of the whole subsectional thing and the heats at state. I mean, a 5K. I mean, in high school, when you got kids who run 2 5Ks a week. That's pretty harsh on them, especially when you don't do it all year and then you go into the end of the season and run 2 5Ks. It's tough. But I mean, it's kind of like even in track. I mean, you got kids who run the mile and then they struggle to run another mile at sectionals. But I mean, I don't think that affected my state race, but it's just a little different, and I didn't like it too much. But like I said, you got to adjust, and I mean, that's where you make your money.
Exactly. And just looking at this, like you mentioned, October 20th to October 24th, you guys got that like short rest. You usually get that 7 days or so. And this one we see like 4 to 5 days of rest there. And that's certainly, I mean, not ideal whatsoever, but with COVID, I mean, the WIA, they're going to say this is what they could do to make it happen. I mean, thankfully we got the season, but like that's tough. And then your final race, it says November 7th, the Wisconsin Meet of Champions. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the Wisconsin Meet of Champions, I actually organized that race. So I organized it at Deer Run. I wasn't very excited about when they announced the state meet and the heats and stuff. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get a bunch of fast guys in the state together and race against each other, because I mean the Foot Locker Nationals, Nike Cross Nationals, those all got canceled. And I was looking forward to running in those. So, I mean, we got a really good turnout, a lot of really good times. So, I think that was good for me and the state of Wisconsin. So,
oh yeah, it was especially good for you, Hunter. A PR of 15:29. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. And that's really so. No. How did you get that organized? You want to kind of talk about that process a little bit?
So we have a group chat with kind of like some of the top distance runners in the state, because we wanted to get something together where we wanted to run like a 5K on the track or something, but have it timed so that you could send it to colleges and stuff like that. And we kind of came down to it, and there's not really a track that you could do it at. And then we talked about it more, and they're like, oh, maybe we should do a cross country meet, after the season, because that Nike Cross and Foot Locker got canceled. And then I was like, well, I have a golf course that I can do it at. So I talked to Glenn, the owner of the golf course, and he said it was fine. So me and a buddy got together and we organized it, and it turned out really well. I mean, XM timing from Valders. I think it's the Ebens. So that was pretty awesome. You
Yeah.
get all the Valders people come to Brilliant and throw down.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at times, like shout out Clay Taylor from Ballards. He took sixth in the meet, 15:58. Yeah. We also had Jacob, from Stevens Point, 15:18. So that was a pretty good time there too. Yeah. So overall, just a great race. I'm really glad you were able to organize that. Something, like you mentioned, college, getting out to colleges, and that's kind of where we're going to transition into in a little bit. But first, we got to finish up our high school stuff. Got to talk about, what was there that moment that just where it hit you that like, hey, I can do this at the collegiate level?
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't like me at all. Like I wasn't like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I want to run in college. It was my coach Schmid. I had a pretty good junior season, a pretty good start to my junior season. And as the season went on, I was still running some pretty quick times. And then she kind of just came up to we came up to me and she's like, you got to decide if you're going to run in college or not. And then we got to start reaching out to coaches. And I said, yeah, I want to run in college. I mean, my dream was always to be a D1 athlete. I mean, I didn't think it'd be in running, but so that was kind of when it happened. It was about mid-junior year, so we started reaching out to coaches, and now we're here.
Yeah, can we hear about some of your other offers, that were on the table?
I don't know. I didn't really market myself very well. I didn't talk to a lot of schools. I mean, I talked to like Green Bay, and I talked to Iowa, Temple, but there wasn't a lot. I mean, it was cool though, talking to some schools.
So Milwaukee really stood out is what it sounds like, and just with that, how was it? I mean, when did you commit officially to Milwaukee?
Oh boy, I'm going to have to get the date here, but
I believe it was like, was it like October, November, your senior year? I'm going to say it was like that early.
Yeah, it was December 26th.
Oh, okay. So
my senior year. So right after cross country season ended and settled down a little bit and thought about it. I had my decision made pretty prior to that, but then I made the final decision.
Official, yeah.
I think it was the right one.
Yeah, so far, I mean, love it down here in Milwaukee. And I'll transition now a little bit into the college, atmosphere. Just like now going into your summer, before your freshman year in college, like what's the training program like?
It's definitely different. I mean, I ran a lot. Well, my junior and senior year, I ran a lot of miles, and then I kind of came here and they took it down a little bit because they didn't want me to be overwhelmed with the training and stuff like that. So here they run off of minutes instead of miles. So like instead of going for a 5-mile run, you go for a 35-minute run. So that's a little different. I mean, in high school, I did like 35-minute runs or 40-minute runs, but I kind of differed between mileage and minutes. But I like the minutes a lot more because you don't think so much about the mileage. You just run for your minutes. And
yeah. So. And you know what, with running for that long amount of time, what's kind of, are you a thinker? Are you a music kind of guy?
Usually when I if I'm running by myself, I usually don't listen to music. And a lot of times when I tell people that, they're like, how do you not listen to music? And then, I don't know, I enjoy nature. I enjoy just being out running. It's fun. I mean, you just go out, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it's a very similar Spencer Strike. We had him on episode 2. He had kind of a similar answer there. Just enjoy nature. Just take your time, just out and just appreciate. Mother Nature. That's some cool stuff. And just now, the training how would you say how different? I mean, you mentioned the minutes and stuff instead of like miles. Was strength training something you incorporated in high school, and how has that been? Here, because of course that's something they emphasize in college.
Yeah, I mean, high school, I wasn't the biggest strength trainer. I mean, I did core. I did that was about it. We lifted like twice a week in cross country, but wasn't very serious. You throw up little weights just to kind of maintain and do band workouts and stuff like that. But now that I've gotten to college, they got strength and conditioning coaches and stuff here. So we go lift twice a week, and then me and my roommate, we lift on our own, do a little bit of that. So it's a lot more strength training than I've done, but I like it. I mean, I love lifting and doing all that stuff now. Never really was a fan, but
Yeah.
I'm with it now.
So then just how has it been overall, in Milwaukee? How have you liked it so far, the atmosphere?
It's pretty awesome. The guys here are awesome. Fun guys. It's a little weird right now because our coach is actually he's in the Navy and he got deployed and he's deployed for 6 months now. So right now all he can really do is send us emails of our workouts and stuff, and then we're here by ourselves, and we got a like a assistant / like interim head coach that comes in every morning and helps us out and stuff like that. But it's pretty weird. But the atmosphere here it's awesome. I mean, the team atmosphere is crazy. I mean, everyone's here for everyone. No one really runs for themselves here, which is really awesome. So,
And did you know some of the guys coming in? I know you knew Nate, but like, is there any other guys you had a connection with?
yeah, I mean, like Nate and Trevor, I knew them really well. I mean, they helped me through the whole process, answered a ton of questions that I had and stuff like that. But I didn't really know anyone else besides them, but I thought it was good to it was nice to have them pull me under their wing and show me around and stuff like that. So,
For sure.
but as I kind of like committed, I started talking to more of the guys. I definitely fit in. It's a really good group of guys.
It's always good to hear. I mean, being in that college kind of team, I mean, you guys are like family, and it's really good to hear that. And just, is there someone like along your way, you want to shout out?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of people that I
one right now stands out. First one.
Probably my coach Schmid. She's the reason that I'm running in college right now. I mean, she was the one who put me in my place. She didn't let me slack at all. I was definitely a slacker my freshman and sophomore year, and she kind of pulled me up and she's like, you got to get your head out of here, you know what? And then ever since then, it's just kind of had a new mindset on everything. And I don't know, she's helped me a ton with school, not just running, school, life. There's people like that you don't forget about it, and it really goes a long way. So
yeah, that's certainly like that's a coach there who's there for you, as an athlete, but also just as a person, and just like to be there, as a mentor. That's always good to hear. You had someone there in your life in high school too. So I mean, let's talk about this, this men's cross country team for Milwaukee and their schedule this past year, with that being all wrapped up. So you start the year, the Vic Godfrey Open in Kenosha, and you guys take second in that meet. And just, for you, like because I know they have like the varsity team, let's say, and then there's also like the reserves, were you bouncing between both those your freshman year?
So for the first meet, it was like we ran a lot of open meets. So the open meets you can run your whole team. So like the Vic Godfrey Open, we ran the whole team, and that was a 6K race. So I mean, it wasn't as long as the other races, but I mean, but throughout the season, I think I was around like 7 or 8. I definitely had a hard time adjusting from the 5K to the 8K. So, but we run 12 people at the conference meet, and then 7 people at the regional meet. So I got to run at the conference meet, and then I didn't run at the regional meet. I was not ready to run because how it works in college is when you go from conference to regional meet, you switch from 8K to 10K, and I was not ready to run a 10K.
Yeah, that is holy smokes. So just even going from the 5K, to the 8K, how was that in terms of just like pacing and just kind of like tempo, how is that different?
Well, my first 8K, I thought it'd be a good idea to go out with the big dogs, and it definitely hurt me in the long run. But no, it's definitely different. I mean, it feels like it's running 2 5Ks almost. It's hard. And I mean, I still really haven't figured out how to race it, but it'll come along. I mean, that's what's nice. We ran a lot of meets this year, so yeah, we adjusted. I was hoping to run good at the conference meet, but we got a lot of rain, so that was just a mud fest and running through water and mud and sliding all over the place. So
Yeah, and you guys in the Horizon League Championship, 4th out of 11. So, I mean, 4th place, I mean, looking at that, and you guys got some younger guys on the team too. So, certainly, there's some room with you being only a freshman as well. So, you got some years, to kind of get ready for that 8K or that big 10K at the regional. So, that's certainly going to be a grind, though. Which, like 2 5Ks, that's how you explain it. It's literally what the 10K is. So, that will be something else. And now, just moving now into track season. So how has that been, just kind of transitioning now into that cross country off season to that track, like off season too, but like it's starting to ramp it up into track season?
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I mean, I've come to love track a lot more than I do cross country, but I haven't gotten into my training block as much yet, because I was sick when my training block started. So I had to take an extra week off, but I started training. I started running last week, and we actually had a inter squad meet this Saturday at the K. So we ran a 600, and that went pretty well. I mean, I was definitely surprised with how fast I ran for not running a workout. But then we had our first workout today, and it was a speed workout, and I love doing speed workouts. So I love the adjustment. I love getting into the speed stuff. So.
Yeah. So what events do you think we'll see you in? Are we going to see you in the indoor and outdoor season?
Yeah. So I'm probably focusing more on around like the 1,500 mile. And then I'll probably drop down to the 800 and go up to the 3K or like the 3K steeplechase. So that's kind of my bread and butter right in that area.
Yeah. We see the indoor season really kick off January 14th, the Hawkeye Invitational in Iowa City. So the Iowa Hawkeyes hosting a meet. That's going to be some big schools there. So that'll be, a great time to impress some people, Hunter. So that'll be a definitely great opportunity.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that, I think Wisconsin runs there. So maybe I think like big schools like Notre Dame and them run there. So that'll be a really fun one. Good experience and run against all those big schools. It's definitely something that's different about college is you go into these races and you're racing guys that you watched 3 years ago running at the national meet. Now you're in the same races. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and you're coming from small, brilliant Wisconsin, so some cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And January 29th, it's Saturday. It's a Saturday meet, 10 a.m. The home meet for the Panthers at the K. The Tierney Classic? So that's going to be
Tierney Classic.
That'll be a big one. Maybe I'll show up. We'll be back in classes the 24th, so maybe make a stop there and get some pictures for the Twitter. But we'll see. We'll see. Then just looking through it, you guys got Wisconsin meet, St. Valentine's Invitational, February 18th. Going back a week, February 11th, you're at Indiana, the Hoosier Hills. That'll be a cool one. And then we got conference already, February 27th, 6th, and the 7th. That wraps up the indoor season. And then the outdoor season ramps right back up. March 19th it starts up. So that's pretty quick.
You don't really get a break in there. So.
And same kind of events there you'll be in?
Yeah. Yeah. So in indoor season, you run a mile, and then outdoor season, you run the 1,500. So that's really the only difference. But I'll probably still be in the 800 and the 1,500 and the steeplechase. The 3K turns into a 3K steeplechase in outdoor season. So.
Gotcha. And just going through some of these, there's some big ones too. I mean, we mentioned the meet for Milwaukee to kick it off, but then you go to the Redbird Invite. You're going, I don't even know where that is. I thought that was Louisville, but it's not Louisville. And then
that's Illinois State.
Looks like Illinois State. Yep. April 1st and April 2nd in Illinois. And then Marquette Open, April 8th. So that'll be a good one. We got a hike here. Texas A&M Team Invitational. You're going April. That says the 8th and 9th too. Oh my goodness. There's two. I got two right now on the 8th and 9th. So that's interesting. A little conflict there maybe, but
yeah, I'm sure it'll probably be I'm thinking like the big dogs will run at the Texas meet, and then the JV team will run at the Illinois meet. So
yeah, seems like probably the way they'll do that. April 22nd, April 23rd, University of Illinois Invitational. So that's a big one. That's in Illinois then, and then also just going through it, and we have really, you get into the Horizon League Championships which is in Rochester, Michigan. So that's gonna be Oakland hosting conference outdoor. So that'll be some good stuff. That's a 3-day, May 6th through the 8th. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, then they got the NCAA. Oh my goodness, they got a lot of preliminary rounds and a lot of championships. So that's a jam-packed schedule in Division I, and that's in Oregon or Arkansas and Oregon. So that's some big stuff there. And then just we got to do a little bit, Hunter, of course, about academics. So I got to fit that in here at the end. Did with UWM that really fit? What you're going for your major?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for business. So, I mean, you can really find any school that has business, a good business program. It's not the hardest thing in the world to find. So, but no, I mean, I really like the school here. The business school is super nice, and I really like the curriculum they have right now. I mean, my schedule's not very hard, and that's what I like. So,
yeah. Is there? Do you know what you're going to really emphasize? Because I know here at Milwaukee, I mean, they don't really have a general business. They you have to emphasize,
Yeah. So I'm majoring in supply chain and logistics. So
nice. So do you kind of career goal with that? Is there something you want to use that for?
I just get a job in supply chain.
Anything
that opens up, though. I mean, you can do a lot with a business degree. I mean, I think here it's you get your bachelor in business administration, and then just have a focus. So
yeah,
business degree is a business degree wherever you apply.
And of course, supply chain being a growing field, I mean, you'll easily find a job in that. So that's good stuff.
Frymark tells us all about that.
Yep. Shout out Michael Frymark again, getting me courtside. We appreciate it, Dr. Frymark. Really do. And yeah, Hunter, anything else you really want to mention? I mean,
not really. I mean, I did see you on the Jumbotron a lot last night at the basketball game. So
they do put me on
getting all these front row seats.
I'm just kind of good.
Freshman.
Yeah. Kind of just slide in there. They like to put me on the screen, and I kind of like to do things on the screen. So, hey, it works out. And, with that being said, Hunter, appreciate you coming on. I wish you the best athletically and academically. And you want to shout yourself out?
Hunter Krepolino too.
Yeah, of course. So give him a follow. Yeah. And yeah, going through our schedule, we got Friday, we're airing Zach, Jared, and Drew's Journey to a Million, episode 1. That's going to come out. And then, of course, Monday, we got episode 41 of the Sports Crew coming out. And we also have a Twitter now. So at JD Sports Pod, make sure to go give it a follow if you have not. One more thing, we got the bracket challenge that closes Friday. So that's linked in our Instagram bio. Go enter that free entry. First place, $25 Quick Trip gift card, courtesy of Johnny Tim. Second place, $15 DQ gift card, courtesy of the Sports Crew. So I'd go enter that. It's free entry. You can potentially win some good prizes. So I'd go enter that. Hunter, if you have not, I recommend you go enter that too. But yeah.
All right.
With that being said, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan and Drew, the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.